Guys, I just got back from watching the new Power Rangers movie, and I have to say, it was pretty awesome. Power Rangers is of course a retelling of the badass show that we saw back in the 90s as kids. I still remember watching that show every morning before I would go to school. I even remember going to detention for beating up a kid because I thought he was a putty. I was the Red Ranger, and then when the Green Ranger came along, I was the Green Ranger, and then when the White Ranger came along, I was the White Ranger, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the movie. This is just a spoiler-free review, and we're going to have a full discussion this weekend, but let's just tell you why I liked it. From the get-go, you know that the action in this movie is going to be awesome. I'm not going to spoil anything about the intro until we have that later discussion, but I will say that you get insight into the history of the Power Rangers, so that's pretty awesome. And then we get to see all these new teenagers with attitude, and we get to meet Jason, Billy, Zach, Trini, and Kimberly, and for some reason, everyone has a hard time pronouncing Trini. Trini. Each of the 5 teenagers brings a whole different set of attitude and problems, and it's awesome to see that they also have a very diverse take on all of them. This is the key thing about this movie, great character development. It builds up on every single character from Zordon, Alpha 5, the 5 Rangers, Rita. I mean, the whole story itself, it has a nice pace. I will say that a lot of people might be a little bored because you're going to be going through almost the whole movie without seeing the Power Rangers until really the very end in action. And honestly, that's totally fine. There's enough comic relief, enough fun in this film to keep you going. I remember when I first saw the movie trailers, I was very skeptical about these new costumes. I didn't like the way they looked. They were too glittery, they looked like Iron Man, and it was just way too much for me. But finally seeing these costumes in action, it grew on me pretty fast. Just seeing all the Zords in action and finally combining into the Megazord and seeing that Megazord in action, man, I was just being taken back. Even though we don't have a real classic look on the whole thing, the whole feel of it was awesome. This is a great, hip, modern take on the Power Rangers. A lot more edgy, a lot more adults, but you still have room for the kiddos to really enjoy this. There could be moments where maybe the kids might get a little scared, but in all honesty, overall, they're going to walk out wanting to become a Power Ranger. That's what the show did for me when I was a kid, and that's what this movie's going to do for the new generation. I am really hoping to see a lot of sequels from this franchise, and I hope they keep the same kind of style. The filming was great. The acting was, pretty decent. Mostly great. Can't go wrong when you really have Bryan Cranston as Zordon and Bill Hader as Alpha 5. Elizabeth Banks as Rita, the scariest villain I've seen on the Power Rangers in all its history. So it's a great, refreshing take on Rita Repulsa. You also have some cool cameos, so that was really cool to see, but like I said, we'll talk about that later. So overall, I'm going to give you a rating of a 3.5 out of 5. It is a fun movie to go see. It has a nice, modern, fresh feel for the whole franchise, and I'm looking forward to seeing future installments of this movie. If you want to hear more about these quick reviews, let us know what you want us to see so we can tell you what we like and dislike. And let us know if you agree. Maybe you just didn't like the film overall. Who knows? I will say I enjoyed it. Thumbs up for me. That's enough from NerdFellas. Nerd out.